Hey there, Aubrey. How's everything?
I'm great, Lindsay. How are you?
Have you ever done a cold plunge?
Yes,
Have
I
you?
started doing a cold plunge in our pool. So it's not like
Oh,
ice cold. I know a lot of people do like ice baths, but it's
right.
cold. I bet it's 55 degrees right now, maybe
Yeah.
even a little bit colder.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
I'll go in and I was reading about all the health benefits and it does say I'm like so revived after and like wide awake. I kind of
Interesting.
love it.
Interesting. I've tried kind of creating a version of that in the shower, like the last
Just a cold
one
shower.
minute, turn it
Mm.
cold. But then I was like, this is not comfortable. And I'm not sure. Like, I guess I've heard about the health benefits, but I'm not 100%
You
sure
don't
about
believe
them. So I'm
enough
like,
for the discomfort
yeah, I think I
because
just
it's
like my
not
hot
fun.
showers. Yeah.
Yes, funny.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking you that. That was inspired by a student posted in our community the phrase "swimming really does a number on my hair." And they were talking
Ah,
about the chlorine in swimming. How if you don't wear a swim cap, it really hurts your hair. And I've
yes.
been doing these cold plunges, and I'm like, I maybe should wear a cap because I notice it damaging my hair. But I was
Yes.
so impressed by this vocabulary. This student saying that it really does a number on their hair, and so today we're talking about that phrase and a few related phrases.
Yes, I remember as a kid swimming every day. By the end of the summer, I had green hair because of the
Yes.
chlorine, right?
Yes, right. It's dyeing your hair green and it's like straw. It
Yeah.
feels all dry and crispy.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't care that it's doing a
No,
number on your hair. You're just
exactly.
like, I want to swim, right?
Right. It's worth it.
Love it. So before we get into today's episode, I want to say a huge thank you to those who reviewed us in Spotify. That is another great place to leave us a comment or review. So thank you to Truta, thank you to Claudia Bruck, thank you to Dago Cordero, Louise Now, and those were our
Yes.
reviewers. Guys, these reviews are incredible. Aubrey, they're fantastic.
I know I love to read them. You can post questions there as well. And we often get great questions in Spotify and YouTube. So keep sending in
Yes.
your questions and thank you for the reviews and the comments. We love them. We read them all.
Yeah, wherever you listen, whether it's Apple Podcast or and the Android app or the iPhone app, there's so many places to consume All Ears English now, but leave us a rating and review. We'll do our best to announce your name on the show. Okay? Good.
Absolutely. So let's dive into this fun vocab. First, that
Yes.
one, to do a number on someone or something,
Yes.
which, yeah, it just means to have a big effect in some
Yes.
way. So, for example, the late nights really did a number on my focus, right? So you're staying up late, not sleeping as well, and it's affecting your focus. You could say, oh, that did a number on my focus.
In a negative way, right? Usually, would you
Yes.
say
Not a
usually
positive effect.
these
Good
are
point.
negative effects, right? Or that
Yes.
cold winter did a number on my car battery. Mm-hmm.
So maybe now your car battery is dead or dying because of the cold winters.
Yes.
Instead of just saying it really affected my battery. This is so much more
Yeah.
fun. It did a number on my
Yeah.
battery.
Do you feel like living in Arizona, the Mountain West, does a number on your skin, Aubrey?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask about my battery. The heat
Oh,
kills batteries here. We have to replace batteries so
Ah.
often because of
Ooh.
the heat in Arizona. But yes, the dry air does a number on my skin. I have to lotion constantly and I still have dry skin.
I know. I've been living here for like 4 years and I feel like my skin's aged 10 years compared to being on the East Coast, honestly.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yes.
we get a lot of sunshine, so that helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Trade-offs.
Trade offs. And then another way to say the same thing would be take a toll on. So you could say the constant stress took a toll on her health. And
Yeah,
sometimes we can
again,
be, yeah.
just meaning a great effect, right? So what were you saying?
I was going to say sometimes we can have an underlying low level of stress and it
Yes.
is taking a toll on our health, but maybe we don't realize it. Right, Aubrey?
Absolutely. This happened to me once. I ended up having a panic attack and I didn't
Ooh.
even realize how stressed I had been until
Wow.
that happened. And I was so surprised. I didn't understand. So,
Yeah.
for someone who doesn't experience that a lot, you might not even realize this stress is building until suddenly you're having these physical effects.
Oh my gosh, until it's all, too far along. So
Right.
yeah, interesting.
Exactly. Or another example, years of night shifts took a toll on his sleep patterns. So yeah, this could happen. Then you get a day shift, but you can't sleep at night. That would be tricky.
Yep. Huge thank you to any of our nurses or
Yes.
doctors or other crucial employees who do work those night shifts. I mean, I couldn't do it, but
I know. Or
thank
any,
goodness
I mean,
someone does.
factory workers,
Yeah.
security guards. I have a neighbor
Yeah.
that does a graveyard shift as a security guard. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's so many jobs where people have to work those night shifts in order order to for our society to function.
It's true. It's true. And then another way to say it is hit hard. So that news hit him hard, right? You have to put something in between a pronoun. It hit me hard. It hit him hard. Right.
Yeah.
So this means what, Aubrey?
And we could just say, that news hit hard.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And really it's implied that you mean it hit me hard, right?
Yes.
But yeah, this means it had some kind of great effect. This could be the news, a death of a loved one, or, something very serious news that had a great effect on like your emotional state. You would say it hit me hard.
Right. Or if your company does pay cuts, for example, the sudden
yeah.
pay cut hit her hard.
Yes.
Or you could get more slangy and you could say, oh, that really hits, or that hit in the past tense.
Yes, this is like newer slang. I feel like maybe it's been around a while, but I'm hearing it a lot now.
Okay.
That it's to say like, that's really good. Maybe a song or like something you eat. So like they'll be like, oh, that hits. And it means that's really good.
Okay. So maybe this is like a new and emerging slang that we can get on board with then?
It's a fun
right?
one. And
okay.
I feel like it's getting more common. I was hearing my teenagers use it more, but now I'll hear it on podcasts and TV and stuff.
Oh, but now it's going to become uncool already past the...
Maybe it'll get adopted. We'll see what happens.
We'll like cross the chasm, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, what's number 4?
So this is mess with, again, means, have some kind of big effect. You could say like jet lag really messes with my sleep. And really what you're saying is it has a big effect on it, a negative effect, like you pointed out. You say it messes with it.
Do you feel like jet lag has gotten worse for you throughout life, Aubrey, as you've gotten a little bit older? Do you feel like it's harder than it used to be in your teens and 20s?
It has been a while since I have taken like a transatlantic flight, to be honest. So I will find out the next time I'm able to like travel very far, right? We've got 4 kids. If we go, we like drive 4 hours to Rocky Point. And when it's like we flew to Cancun, but I haven't done like a red eye. I haven't really had jet lag since I was younger. So I don't know. What about you?
I can say yes. It's gotten a lot harder, especially just trips that don't seem like they should be that hard, like going to Western Europe. Those are really hard for me now because you are just messed up for the first 2 days. Then you finally sync up and then you get home and you're kind of messed up for 3 or 4 days. And it used to be just like, oh, I'm a little tired, but whatever. But now it's like, no, I'm falling asleep in museums. This has happened to me the last 2 times I've gone to Western Europe. I've fallen asleep in museums.
Oh, wow.
Just like sitting on a bench and zonking out with my head back and people start laughing because like you shouldn't sleep in a museum, right? Like you should be looking at the art.
That's a really funny. I mean, I'll need to do a trip to find out, but I have a feeling it would be the same. But maybe my sleep is already so messed up now. Maybe I need to get jet lag to correct it.
That could
and then it would be fixed maybe.
There you go.
Or here's another example. Too much caffeine messes with my stomach or my sleep. If I drink caffeine after like 2 p.m., I will be up all night. Yes. It really affects me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Or some people even vomit if they have caffeine without eating. That happens. Some people have I've seen that just today. I saw that happen to someone. So that can absolutely happen too. Good. And then wear someone down is our last one for the day. So the long commute is wearing me down. Aubrey, is this more of a gradual thing or is this like a sudden?
Yeah, usually not sudden, right?
Yeah.
So also like a big effect, but this is usually an effect over time. You get worn down by something. Yeah. So maybe like all the back and forth emails wore me down by the end of the day. So it doesn't have to be over years, right? This could be throughout the course of a day. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a terrible thing. It could just mean even by Friday afternoon, I'm pretty worn down, right? I'm ready to get off my laptop, right? Yeah. Put that away message up and move on with life, with your weekend.
Exactly. But good point that one is more over time, whereas all of the rest of these could be sort of immediate. Something did a number, took a toll on me, right?
Yep, exactly. So we have a lot of choices here. Good. Yeah. Okay, Aubrey, what are we doing in today's role play?
All right. You and I are friends here, and I just yawned. So you go ahead and start us out.
All right, here we go. You're yawning, and it's only 3 p.m.
Ooh, yeah. These late nights are doing a number on me. My focus is completely gone.
Yeah, I can imagine. Constant stress will take a toll on anyone after a while.
For real. And then I got an email about budget cuts. That hit hard.
Right. Plus, you've been traveling a lot, right?
Yes. And the jet lag from my last trip is still messing with my sleep. I wake up at 2 a.m. every night.
That'll wear you down fast if it keeps up.
Yeah. This is how you know it's not me, because I haven't had jet lag in several years.
Yep. So really good stuff here. Very realistic conversation, I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Right. And we used all of these. I started by saying these late nights are doing a number on me. So I'm being kind of vague here, right? But it's more interesting to use a phrase like this instead of these late nights are keeping me from sleeping, right? It's just fun to be like, oh, they're doing a number on me.
Yeah, don't always say I'm tired. How are you? I'm tired, right?
Right. Don't
a lot of college
say
kids
I'm
will answer
tired. That's good advice.
Yeah, don't say that. I feel like in our culture, that is almost a like standard response for people. Do you notice that? Just like out in the world, if you're at a party or something, that is a very standard response. How are you? I'm tired. Right?
Yes, it's true. And it's like the worst, because then what do you say from there?
It's horrible.
And also another related bit of advice, don't tell someone they look tired.
Yes.
I actually used AI to give me a jumping off point with this role play, and it started with, you look tired. I was like, no.
No.
We're not using that. Don't say that to
don't
someone.
Say it to a woman. Yeah, because
right?
maybe that person's been sleeping great, but you just don't know the difference in how they look, and that could, just bad.
They might be like, I'm just not wearing makeup. Thanks for the compliment.
No, I think in general, maybe we could do another episode, and our listeners should hit follow to not miss it. Just on saying you look anything, you look X, avoid, right?
I say to my kids, don't comment on people's appearances.
And that
just
could
a
go
good
for
general
tiredness. Like, it's also kind of a trap saying, oh, you look like you lost weight. That could be a trap.
Right.
We'll do another episode. What do you think, Aubrey, on that?
Yes, I love that. That's a great idea. All of the good advice.
All right. Then I said, I can imagine constant stress will take a toll on anyone after a while.
Yeah. And this is interesting. This is a great way to use these phrases as well, sort of in general, instead of saying like, this took a toll on me, it took a toll on you, to just that solidarity, being like, oh, I can imagine stress will take a toll on anyone. Stress will do a number on anyone after a while.
Anyone after a while, right? And then you talked about budget cuts at your work, and that hit hard, right? So here you didn't say that hit me hard. You kept it a little bit more distant.
Because it's implied, right? You know I'm talking about me. I'm sharing about some budget cut at my job. So because that's already implied, it's already understood that I'm talking about me, I can just say that hit hard.
Love it.
If I'm talking about other friends, then I would need to say that hit him hard or her hard. I would need to make it clear who I'm referring to.
Need to be more specific, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% agree. And then you said, yep. And the jet lag for my last trip is still messing with my sleep. Yes.
Yeah. And of course you can just say is still affecting my sleep. But imagine if we just said affecting 4 times here. The late nights are affecting me. Constant stress will affect anyone. So boring. These are way more interesting phrases.
This is kind of what we're learning here. Like, these are good alternatives for the word affect, right?
Absolutely.
This is what these are. Really good. And then finally, that'll wear you down fast if it keeps up. Yeah. And again, this is another one of those episodes that could lead to great conversation about the things that give you energy. We talk about introverts, extroverts, what gives you energy, what wears you down. It's not the same for everyone, right, Aubrey?
Exactly. And I love what you said, Lindsay. Don't be the person who's always saying, I'm tired, who's always talking about everything that's wearing them down. Yes, it's good to share this sometimes, but you don't want to be the one that people turn around and walk the other way because they know you're going to talk about how tired you are.
It's such a downer, right? Try to find something that energizes you, and maybe talk about that, or decide how much you're going to share depending on who's asking the question. Right?
For sure. Absolutely.
Love that. Really good stuff. Good connection topic for today, Aubrey. And thanks for being on the mic. I'll see you later in the week.
Awesome. See you next time.
All right. Bye.